it's Chellbee. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I'm the blogger behind Chellbee.com. As always, I'm dropping in to drip some faith into your life, some love, some beauty, and everything in between. I hope you guys are just having an amazing day. I am, excuse the lady win. Anyways, like previously promised, I am going to be doing another Bible study with me video, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the story of Esther. Ladies, if you have not read the story of Esther, you definitely need to take some time to do so. It's such a short read. I think it's maybe 9 to 10 verses, so it's something you can knock out in about 2 weeks or less. If you need some help going through and getting to know some women in the Bible, make sure you check out the link below to my journaling series called Blemish But Beautiful, and it's 30 days of biblical beauties. But anyways, nonetheless, let's jump right into it. So Esther, Esther to me, she just exemplified, I would say, wit, wisdom, patience, faithfulness, subtle, and bravery. I'm not gonna give up the whole story, but I will tell you what my main takeaways were from Esther. To me, what I noticed from the very beginning, from the very first verse, was the way that women were treated and thought of in that time was just so clear in the Book of Esther, especially that first verse. The queen is summoned to see the king and to basically be a showpiece. I mean, that's pretty much what he wanted. He wanted her to be a showpiece. He's having a party. He wants the queen to come on down and show her stuff, and she refuses. And because of that, he goes, what in the world? And because she refused to come down, basically he goes and he begins to look for a new queen and kicks her out on her butt. So that's how Esther becomes the queen, and she kind of goes through this journey of being beautified so that she can stand among all the other women in the town that were eligible in versions to be chosen. Hey, mama! To be basically put on display and picked by the king. It's pretty much a group of women who are beautified and go through all of this so that the king can say which one he wants to be his queen, and Esther happens to be the lucky or maybe the unlucky one. I don't know. I guess it depends on your views on what you think, but Esther is the lucky chosen one who, beauty gets her chosen to be the new queen, and she just so happens to be a Jew. And she was raised by a friend of the family because her parents had passed. And his name is Hey, mama. His name is Mordecai, Mordecai. I'm gonna butcher his name, but somewhere in that realm, Mordecai or Mordecai. And Mordecai, he basically sits outside of the king gate because now Esther is queen, but he's not necessarily hanging out and chilling in the palace. But so he's hanging outside of the gate. The king has appointed his new second in command, and his second in command is Haman, and everybody has to bow before Haman. And Mordecai refuses. He just flat out refuses to bow before Haman. And Haman is on an ego trip and feeling very full of himself. So he's upset, and he wants to teach Mordecai that basically he's in charge. But it basically ends up backfiring in the long run because Esther is brave enough, witty enough to save Mordecai's life and the life of the Jews. Simply because Mordecai was a Jew, Haman then crafted up this plan that all the Jews should be annihilated because of Mordecai's disrespect. So anyways, long story short, Mordecai tells Esther, you gotta intervene, you gotta do something, they're gonna kill our people if you don't do something. So she invites the king and Haman over twice for dinner. And at I want to say it's the second or the third dinner, she finally lets him know like what she wants. And basically she wants the ruling against Mordecai's life and the life of the Jews to be taken away. She doesn't want her people annihilated. And the king does as she please, and Mordecai becomes not necessarily the second in command, but it didn't sound like he was going to be the second in command, but maybe like a higher up, someone in the command of the king, basically. Like he becomes one of the king henchmen also, and is awarded all these honors for saving the king's life when some of his workers are, I guess, security type people were talking about killing the king. He let the king know. So he gets this honor, and he and Esther together basically remove sorry baby they remove the I forget what it's called, the order that had been placed on the lives of the Jews to wipe out the Jews. So they have that removed, and instead the Jews are allowed to basically take out their enemies. So it pretty much either way it went, somebody was going to be annihilated in this book. And so the Jews annihilate all the people who have been enemies against them for years and years, and they name this day, and it becomes a huge day that Jewish people celebrate, apparently. So the Jews pretty much wipe out the people. Haman is hung along with his family. And I think when I was reading this book, I did an Insta story just saying how it doesn't pay to be hateful. Like, all of this could have been avoided if Haman would have just let it go. It shouldn't have ever been a big deal that Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him. Like, that's one person out of the whole town. You're gonna try to kill a whole group of people. It never made sense to me why it was so important and so serious to him to want to annihilate a whole group of people because of one person that so happens to be Jewish won't bow down to you. Like, is it really that serious? Like, you really gotta bug up your butts that bad? Like, it's one of those stories where you're just like, what is wrong with people? And it just reminds me that there's never been a time where there hasn't been people who were just hateful and hell-bent on the demise of others, and usually it ends up being their own demise. So it's just a reminder to not be hateful when people, do wrong to you, or you feel like you've been wrong. Just pray over it, let it go, move on, and let God handle it, because vengeance is the Lord. And when we try to take stuff like that into our own hands, it almost never goes well. So that was just like the moral of the story to me. That was like the major thing that I took away among a lot of other things, like how diplomatic Esther was. I don't even know if I have an ounce of that amount of diplomacy. I'm just like a straightforward person, so I don't know anything about I'm just a straightforward person, so I felt like there was a lot to learn and take away from how Esther maneuvered and worked through that whole situation, because she did it in a way that I don't think I would have naturally ever thought of. So kudos to Esther for being so witty and just being diplomatic and being graceful and subtle in a way that worked in her favor and worked in the favor of the Jews. So that was Esther, the Book of Esther. Hopefully I didn't butcher the story too much. I didn't want to give it all away, but I think I did, you guys. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this another Bible study with me. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, I hope hope you guys enjoyed the Bible study with me. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these Bible study with me videos. I mean, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if you want to know about the story ahead of time before you read it, or if you want to read it before time. You guys just let me know how you guys want to work about this. Anyways, as you can hear, my little one is humming, so I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I can't wait to talk to you guys again soon. Make sure to be safe. Stay blessed, you guys. Bye.